Okay, good morning everyone. Hazaka Baruch. Thank you for joining us on this beautiful Monday morning. Wishing everyone a Chodesh Tov Muvorach as we enter today, the first day of Selichot, as we enter the month of Elul. And for all those that went to synagogue today, that listened to the Selichot, it brings chills down your spine as we start hearing the tunes. Ben Adam Alecha Nirdam, right? And we start realizing that Rosh Hashanah, my friends, is right around the corner. Our rabbis tell us, Aryeh sha'ag mi lo yira. When a lion roars, who isn't afraid? You hear a lion, unless it's in a cage, you're running for your life, right? When you hear a lion, everyone's shaking. Our rabbis tell us, well, Aryeh as well could be an acronym. Elul, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Hosha'ana Rabbah. These are the 4 checkpoints that we have of the deen of the days of introspection as we move higher and higher, closer and closer. And so we are in days that we have to start upping it, taking it up a notch. We have to start getting more serious. Our parasha, of course, is not a coincidence that it begins with the famous words, my friends, Shofetim. That is the name of our parasha. Shofet is a judge. Shofetim veshoterim titen lecha bechol she'arecha. Our parasha tells us that we have to have judges and we have to have officers. I don't know if you knew that. A policeman is not a non-Jewish thing. The Torah tells us you have to have a policeman. You have to have judges, right? We have the judicial and then we have the executive. We have the 2 different branches. We have 3 branches really, right? Shofetim veshoterim titen lecha bechol she'arecha. In every gate, in every city, in Israel, there has to be their own judges. They have to have their own officers, LAPD, NYPD, right? Different policemen for different cities. Every city, every gate, the Torah says, make sure that you situate officers in all of the cities, that they should be able to guide the people with justice. My friends, the Shlah HaKadosh, of course, comes along, and the Shlah is famous. It's his chidush. If you ever hear a rabbi say the idea that I'm about to tell you, and you're going to for sure hear it 90% this Shabbat. You're going to hear this Dvar Torah. It's the Shlah HaKadosh. The Shlah says that the Torah is not only talking about the gates of your cities, but the Pasuk says, Titen lecha. You should give officers, you should put judges for you. Titen lecha. You see, says the Shlah HaKadosh, each and every single one of us has gates. We have openings. We have 7 openings, he counts, to our body. We have the eyes, we have the ears, we have the nostrils, and we have our mouths. The Torah is saying to every single one of us, Shofetim veshoterim, make sure you have a judge on each and every single opening. Make sure you have an officer on each and every single opening. The same way a city needs a judge, our gates of our bodies need to have constant judging. What is the judge, my friends? The judge is the brain, the sechel, the brain that we have. Before opening our eyes, we have to use our heads, our brains, and ask ourselves, what I'm looking at, is this something that's going to help me in life? Or is this something that's going to maybe make me jealous in life? Looking at this person's big house, looking at that person's wife, are these things going to help my marriage? Or are they going to hurt my marriage? To think, to use a shofet, we have to use our judgment before opening our eyes. We have to use our judgment before opening our ears, before hearing something. Is this thing going to help me? Is it going to build me? Is it going to instill more emunah in me? Is it going to help my strength? Is it going to give me more happiness? Is it going to give me more confidence? Is it going to help me have a better day today? Or is what I'm about to hear going to pull me down? Is it going to make me depressed? A shofet is needed by our ears, my friends. We need a shofet by our nose. What we smell, where we're smelling. Smell is very powerful. Smell, you smell something before you even see it. Something smells fishy. We have to use our brain. Something doesn't smell good over here. I don't see anything dangerous yet, but it doesn't smell right. I'm going to stay away. By our mouths, my friends, we have to have a shofet. What I'm about to say, what I'm about to eat in and out of the mouth. Is this something that I'm going to be proud of? Am I going to feel good about saying this? In 5 minutes, how will I feel that I have said this to that person? Is this going to build that person that I just said this to? Is it going to help them? As a teacher, as a parent, as a friend, my job is to lift people. Are my words lifting? We require constant Shofetim, to constantly ask ourselves, especially in this month, the month of Elul, the month that our rabbis tell us that is a month that we have to prepare. We have to start preparing, my friends, for the very big days that are coming up. So you see, the Shofetim, the judges that are needed, are not only for the cities. Leave that up to the government. More importantly for us today, the lesson for us, says the Shlah Kadosh, the entrance is not to our cities but to our bodies. What is coming in our body? What is leaving our body? We have to be very, very careful to use our brains. We know the famous Dvar Torah we've said many times, that when it comes to a murderer by mistake, he has to run to Ir Miklat. And the Torah says, Tachin lecha haderech, prepare on the way, prepare directions. If you kill someone, you see in Israel back then they used to have signs, Ir Miklat, next left, city of refuge, straight ahead, 3 miles. What's very interesting is we pointed out that there is another time that Jews need to travel to Israel, not only if they kill, but on the 3 holidays, Pesach, Shavuot, Sukkot. And yet we don't find any requirement to set up reminders, signs, directions. There's no ways of how to get to Jerusalem. They only have the ways how to get to the Ir Miklat. Why are we so accommodating? Why are we helping the murderer? We're not helping a Jew going to do a mitzvah. Many answers to this question. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehakol niyeh baro. My friends, one beautiful, very powerful answer, and that is the Torah is teaching us over here a lesson in protecting, again, the gates of our house, protecting our homes. If there's a murderer in the streets with a bloody dagger, we don't want this murderer coming knocking on our door, asking for directions. Therefore, the Torah says, put signs, make it very clear how to get to Jerusalem, how to get, to the Ir Miklat. We don't want him on our doors. We don't want our children exposed to such people. Even for 5 seconds. We don't want the guy nowhere near our house. Go, get out of here. We'll make it easy for you. We'll put signs. Just leave us alone. And yet, when it comes to a person going to do a mitzvah, on the other hand, Torah says very loud and clear, make sure those people don't put signs. Let them knock on your door. Those are the people that we want your kids exposed to. Dad opens the door, mom opens the door, sees a whole family ready to go up to Yerushalayim. They left everything to go get closer to Hashem. That makes an impression on the children. Our kids, they see that. They say, wow, mommy, daddy, where are they going? Oh, you see, they had a huge house back where they came from, all the way home. They left the big house. They're going to go sleep in a tiny hotel just so they can be with Hashem. The kid says, wow, I want to be like that. So those are the people that we want our children exposed to. And therefore, again, asking ourselves, who are we surrounding our children around? Who are they exposed to? We have to be careful not only what our children eat and what's their diet. We have to watch what they're listening to, and what kind of music, what kind of entertainment. Today is very dangerous. It used to be you could plug your kid in on the Disney Channel and come back 5 hours later and he's watching Disney, no problem. Today, Hashem Yishmor, the most dangerous things on these channels. As innocent as a channel may look, could be cartoon, animated, it doesn't matter. The values that they're teaching the kids today through TV, every TV show, the more cartoon, sometimes the worse it is. They have inside of them all of these crazy values that are against our Torah. And what does a family look like? What does it mean to have responsibility? All the shtuyot, all the nonsense today with gender. Hashem should protect our children. We have to protect our children. Some parents don't know. Parents don't know. They think they have a filter. They have some type of filter on their TV, and it means that their kids can't watch rated X, information. But they have no idea. The kids today, they can get around everything. Kids today are very smart. They know how to get through it all. There's TV shows that are on Netflix, that are on all of these platforms, that are completely fine, rated. But for a Jew, that's rated very NG. It's no good. but the parents don't even know. Someone was telling me that his sister's friends are all watching this TV show, Hashem Yishmor, that in the show, the heroes of the show are doing acts of znut. In the show, acts of immorality. High school kids, you let a high school kid watch this, what do you think is going to be in his head now? What do you think he's going to start thinking? Oh wow, it's so cool. This is what's normal, I guess, for a girl and a guy to do this in high school. So we have to be very, very careful. Shofetim v'shoterim titen lecha bechol she'arecha. We are responsible for the openings of our houses. We're responsible for what our children are watching. We're responsible for the openings of our own bodies. We have to be very careful to place shofetim, judges. Where are our thoughts? What are we reading? And by the way, I'm saying our kids, but it's 10 times more true with ourselves. A lot of people think, oh, it's okay, I'm an adult. I can watch this. I won't be influenced. I have good discretion. I know how to separate between pleasure and real life. It's not true. It's not true. Everybody is influenced. You are what you surround yourself with. And therefore, we come in the month of Elul, my friends, and we have to make sure that the first thing that we do is we put security by every single one of our doors. Are our doors secure? Are our spiritual doors secure? Are our homes secure spiritually? Our bodies, our eyes, our ears, our nose, our mouths, all of these things, they need security, my friends. But you know, I was wondering, this Shlach Kadosh is very nice, it's a beautiful idea, but it seems to be that he's missing something. Because the Pasuk says not just Shofet, it's not enough to have a judge, but you need a judge, Veshoterim, and you need an officer. What's the officer that I'm supposed to have? The Shofet, the judge, I get it. I'm supposed to make sure I put by my body, to have someone standing there. What you're about to do, is it good, is it not good? The voice of logic. But what is the shoter? The shoter, my friends, is the hardest part. The officer is actually doing it. You see, I could sit down and think about all day how bad it is to watch certain things or to say certain things. That's the shofet. My mind tells me, not good to look there. It's not going to help your marriage. Don't listen to that. It's not going to help your happiness. But then I have to now do it. What good is it to have a judge if you don't have an officer implementing what he's saying? Rabbeinu Yonah says that to learn without action is basically decorating the mind. It's decoration. Someone once asked me, this Shabbat actually, they said, Rabbi, I hear such amazing things all the time in classes and speeches on Shabbat and the weekday, but I feel like it's nice, but how do I take it to the next level? You know, you forget the speech an hour later. When you're saying the speech, I'm all uplifted, but you can't speak for 24/7, Rabbi. You know, I can't live my whole life listening to a speech. The answer is 100%. You can't listen your whole life to a speech. The goal of this speech is to talk to your shofet. The speech is to talk to your logic, to get you to start realizing what it is that you need to do or stop doing, what's right and what's wrong. But once you have the speech, once the speech is over and your mind is set and you agree that certain things are no good, now it's your job to make an effective shoter. Now the policeman has to come in. Now you got to do something about it. What are you going to do? You just understood your whole class of how bad gossip is. Now what? What are you going to do with the gossip? You can't just say gossip is bad. What is that going to look like? How is that going to affect your day? What practical changes are you going to make in your personal life? We have to take, my friends, inspiration. We have to make it concrete. We have to implement it. We have to put it into effect. We have to take the chizuk that we get, the musar. All the musar, we have to learn musar every day. And we're learning, by the way, this class is amazing musar every morning. We sit here 40, 45 minutes. We're learning heavy, growing. That's beautiful. But my friends, sometimes people call me and say, Rabbi, your class, really, I have to thank you so much. I started keeping Shabbat. I started keeping kosher. I started getting more observant. I started having a better relationship with my parents. And I always say back, I tell you the truth is, the class is the easy part. What you did is the hard part. Because I could speak all day long, but that's the shofet, that's the judge. But now it's up to you to be the shoter. It's up to you to be able to take what you heard. Because my friends, let's be honest, there's many people that hear musar. You go to a wicked guy, you go to a person who is smoking, their mind, they know it's bad to smoke. If at the end of the day you show them a video, you show them what it does to you, cancer, everyone knows it's wrong. Problem is that they're missing the shoter. A lot of people have judgments. Some people not even that. But even most people, they have good shofet, but they don't have shoterim. They don't know how to take what they hear to the next step. You got to take it, you got to hear it, and then you got to implement it. A shoter is what puts it into effect. The policeman, he's the one that makes sure that you don't speed. He's the one that makes sure that you stop at a stop sign. So we have to ask ourselves, what are we doing about it? I love quoting this from Professor George Footmore. He says the difference between philosophy and religion is that religion does something about it. You see, you have ethicists and philosophers and politicians, and they can sit all day long and talk about what's right for the country and what's best for mankind and for humanity. It's beautiful. But so long that it's just philosophy, it's just in the air, it's just words, it's not going to do anything. Religion, what religion did is religion took all of the philosophy and it brought it down to practical. A Jew that says, I love Hashem, I believe in Hashem, me and Hashem here, we are tight, forget about it. We are the best of besties. But if this person is not doing, then they're just a philosopher. There's no difference between you and any philosopher. Philosophy also believes, also thinks, also feels. Religion, to be religious, religion means, what am I doing? Religion says, take your belief in Hashem and keep Shabbat. You love God? You can't just love God. You have to show God that you love Him. You have to do something about it. Imagine a guy says to a lady, honey, I love you. I love you. Really, I love you. I want you to know how much I love you. She calls him up a week later. She says, it's my birthday. Can we go out? He says, I really love you. Really, I want you to know I love you. But I'm busy. I'm busy with work. She says, okay, you're busy. Calls him up, a week later. He says, it's our anniversary from when we first met. What about dinner? What about going out for a coffee? It doesn't have to be money. He says, honey, how much I love you? You know how much I love you? But really tonight I have baseball with my friends. We're going to a very big game. I can't take you out. Valentine's, honey, let's go out. He says, you know how much I love you, honey? I really love you. I can't take you out. Valentine's, what do you mean? I have a very big golf tournament down in Miami. I can't be... So at a certain point, the lady takes the man. She says, who needs you and who needs your love? What is your love worth? I love you, I love you, I love you. But you don't show me that you love me. Do something. Would any wife ever accept just that word, I love you, from your husband, if he's not showing love? Showing love by giving her time, showing love by showing that he's giving her, consideration for her feelings. To say I love you doesn't mean anything. A Jew that says, I love Hashem, I don't keep kosher, but I love Hashem. Religion, like any relationship, has to be backed by action. If you love Hashem, then you'll do what God said. Follow what the Torah says. So this is really very powerful, very important message, especially in the month of Elul. Because I think we all, in our minds, we know. But sometimes Yetzer Hara gets us when it comes to the deeds. When it comes to doing, he plays in our heads and he convinces us it's not so important, it's not a big deal. Because bottom line, you're keeping the overall part of it. That's a big mistake. It's a very big mistake. As a matter of fact, every morning we put tefillin on. And what are the two parts of the body that we put tefillin on? We put tefillin on the hand. We wrap our hand. We put tefillin on the mind. But ever notice the order? Very interesting. First you put it on the hand. Then you put it on the head. Then you take it off of the head. And then you take it off of the hand. In other words, you never have the tefillin shel rosh, you never have the tefillin of the head on without the tefillin of the hands. What the Torah is teaching us is that to just believe in God, if it's not backed by doing things for God, that's not a Jewish approach. To believe, you have to always have the ma'asim over there. A person has to always be able to do the mitzvot. The Rambam writes that there are many, our obligation, our responsibility when it comes to mitzvot is to study about them, to understand them. But says the Rambam, what happens if you don't understand? What happens if you get stuck? Does it make sense to me? Why do I have to wait 6 hours? Doesn't make sense to me. I have sometimes people calling me up, Rabbi, I don't know, halakha says this, but medicine, they have studies now that they show that it's actually better the other way. So the Rambam and others, they say, that is the message, my friends, of the tefillin. What a Jew must be able to do is to realize that first, I'm doing. First, I'm committing. Then, I try to understand. Why do I have to wait 6 hours? Why can't I use a blade? Why do I have to dress this way if today it's normal for women to dress a different way? Why is it that I can't use certain words, right? So first do. Then try to understand. But even if you understand, even if the knowledge is lacking, even if it's missing, even if you take it off, always must have the hands. Our understanding should never be indicative of our performance. We must be willing to do no matter what. Na'aseh v'nishma. That is our mantra, my friends, as Jews. As Jews, we always said loud and clear, we are ready to do. We're not a nation of creed. We're a nation of deed. We are a people that understands that we must do something about it. That is who we are. The Malbim has a beautiful, kind of funny story. One time, he was brought down to be the rabbi of the community, the Malbim, famous Malbim HaKadosh. And he noticed whenever he would appeal to people for money, they never gave. And, whenever the Torah is being brought out, he noticed the people kissing the Torah like this. So one day, he got up to speak. He says, you know what the problem is over here? Over here, people, they give tzedakah with their mouths, and they kiss the Torah with their hands. He says, it's better to kiss the Torah with your mouth and to give tzedakah with your hand. That's a beautiful lesson, my friends. That is what we're talking about today. That is the idea that it's not enough to give with your mouth. Yeah, I'm gonna do. A lot of times, someone will come, Rabbi, sometimes people come to me. People, they, think I'm a rabbi, so they have, influence or people around me. They come, Rabbi, could you help me out? And I feel very uncomfortable. Because the truth is, now I became a rabbi, to solicit. I became a rabbi to teach Torah, but sometimes people come to me and they need help and I have no choice. So I'll send out a text to, I don't usually solicit my congregants or any of you guys. You know that on the chat, I never put out anything. But sometimes I have a private class, where I'll, few boys that I feel very close to, that I give a class once a week to, so I feel comfortable, and they all send me a lot of times beautifully, a few $100s each, 1,000, whatever it is, whatever the amount that's needed. A lot of times, person, they come to you, they say, Rabbi, I'm going to give, put me down, I'm going to give, I'm going to be there, I'm going to do. They say, and then when it comes to doing the missing, our rabbis tell us, Emor me'at, don't talk with your mouth. Talk aseh harbe, talk with your actions. Actions speak louder than words. Talk with your hands, talk with your feet. There's a community that needs minyan. Don't say, Rabbi. How many times, by the way, in COVID, when we weren't allowed to go to shul, you had guys, Rabbi, come on, we got to start minyan again. We got to start praying again. It's very important. I missed shul. The second shul opened, the guy didn't show up once. You know what I mean? So sometimes we like to talk. We have to realize we're not a nation of talking. That's not who we are. As Jews, we act. We don't complain. We don't show. We don't do. We act. A lot of unfortunately, other people, other nations, they're always complaining. They're always looking back. They always want to get, benefits for things that happened. The Jewish people, We know how to pick ourselves up and we move forward. We do something about it. And this is the difference between Moshe and Balaam. Moshe and Balaam were equally smart, my friends. You think about it, Balaam was very smart, IQ up there, intelligent, very intelligent. Balaam was a very smart man. He was a big philosopher. He spoke to God. Matter of fact, our rabbis tell us, "Velo kam beIsrael od navi ke Moshe." There was never a prophet in Israel like Moses. And our rabbis come and say, yes, in Israel there was never a prophet, but by the non-Jews there was. And who was that? Balaam. Balaam was an equal prophet, caliber of Moshe Rabbeinu. And yet look at the difference between the two of them, my friends. Moshe frees the Jewish people. Moshe battles Paro. Moshe takes them through the desert, brings them to the edge of the promised land. And what does Balaam do? Balaam tries killing innocent people. Balaam has relations with his donkey, Hashem Yishmor. Because Balaam, although he was a prophet, but he was a pervert, because he never was able to take what he believed and use it into action. They say the longest highway is the highway from here to right here. To take something from the head to doing, very hard to actually do. We all know what needs to be done, but to do something. And therefore this month, my friends, is a month of action. Enough talking, enough promises. We have to do, we have to say, what am I ready to start committing to? How am I going to change? What lesson? Yes, the shofet, the judge, it's true, on my mind. I know what I shouldn't do. I know what I shouldn't say. I know what I shouldn't look at. I know what I shouldn't hear. But what step am I taking? What does that look like? If I shouldn't look certain things, what steps am I taking to that? If I shouldn't say certain things, what steps am I taking? If I shouldn't eat in certain places, what am I doing to take that and to translate it into deed? What am I doing to make sure that I don't listen to gossip all day? Maybe I'm going to decide from now on, this month, every day from this to this hour is my no lashon hara hour. This is, make sure it's not from 2 to 3 a.m., you know what I mean, when you're sleeping. This is my hour that I'm not going to speak. This is my hour that I'm not going to do. I'm not going to talk. I'm not going to listen, right? So in this way, we're not only doing Shofetim, we're also doing Shoterim. Because the truth is, the judge is worthless if there's no policeman. What's the judge going to do? If there's no one catching you, if there's no one stopping you, then there's going to be chaos in the streets. So the Shoter is equally as important, if not, maybe more important. So, knowing this, Shofetim v'Shoterim, we know that this is a month of change. It's a month that Hashem is looking at us, and depending on how we act, and how we perform, we're on camera. Some people, they're on probation. And the judge says, okay, let's see how you do for the next few days. When you're on probation, you're very careful. This month we're on probation, my friends. Elul, how we act now could determine whether we're going to have a year at all or not. Whether we're going to have health, whether we're going to have parnasah, whether we're going to have shalom bayit. Right? A lot of people this last year, they made a lot of money. They invested in the right things. They shorted certain stocks, right? They made a lot of money. A lot of people didn't. That was all decided, you should know, a year ago. That was last Elul. Last Elul, people stepped up to the plate. So this Elul, we got to step up again, my friends. What can we do? So take a look at the pasuk. Tik'u b'hodesh shofar. What does that mean? Tik'u b'hodesh shofar. This is the famous pasuk in Tehillim that we say right before blowing the shofar. Blow on the new month, shofar. Of course, we know it's talking about Rosh Hashanah. Right when Rosh Hashanah begins, we blow the shofar. But my friends, take a look. The words b'hodesh and shofar are two insights into what we can do this upcoming Elul for the next 30 days. B'hodesh, the word hodesh means month, but it also means hadash, new. Find something new. You never did this before. I never prayed shaharit. Maybe I'll start praying. I never went to class. I'm going to start going. I never wore tzitzit. I'm going to start wearing. I never lit Shabbat candles. I'm going to start lighting. Whatever it is that you never did, find something new. Chodesh. And start doing it. But my friends, that's not the only way to grow. Sometimes the answer could also be the next word, shofar. You know what shofar means? Shofar is a shofar, but it also is from the word leshaper. Leshaper means to improve. Not to find something chadash, not to find something new, but to take something old and improve it. Take something that you're doing and do it better. Those are two amazing ways of growing. Either one. Everyone's at a different level, everyone's at a different place. Find something for you. Maybe for one person it's something new. Maybe for another person it's nothing new. Maybe I'm praying, but I could pray better. I know my Amidah needs more kavanah. I'm not praying on the right timing, maybe. Maybe I'm not, I'm saying Asher Yatzar. Some people, they never said it, so they should start saying it, thanking Hashem for the bathroom. Some people, they're saying it, but they're saying it Tfilat HaDerech as they're walking all over the place. Maybe I'll start Leshaper, Shofar. I'll start improving how I say my brachot. Maybe I'll start improving how I learn. Maybe I'll start improving how I give tzedakah. Maybe I'm not giving enough. I gotta start making sure. Am I giving 10%? So many beautiful ways, my friends, to start growing. Even the mitzvot that we're doing, maybe the mitzvot, we can do better. The story is told of one time, the student was on the way to doing tashlich on Rosh Hashanah, and he saw the Rebbe, and he said, Rebbe, where are you coming from? And the Rebbe said, I just went to throw away all my averot. How about you? And the student said, I'm going to pick them up. For the student, the Rebbe's averot were for him, I'm going to pick up the Rebbe's averot. For him it was, halevai, those should be my sins. So everyone has to ask themselves, what are my averot? What are my things that I need improvement on? Marriage, relationships, myself, Hashem, so many ways to improve. But if we walk out of this class, my friends, and all we did was say, wow, Rabbi, what an amazing speech. I love what you said, makes a lot of sense, then we failed in today's class. Because today's class you did half, you did the shofet. But today's class is mainly about the next word, the shoterim, not the judges, the officers. What officers? What steps are we going to take? What are we going to put into place to make sure that what we think logically, that our shofet, that what we say in our minds we should be doing, what are we going to be making sure? What officer will we put in place to make sure that we actually follow through with it? That we step up to the plate. This way, Be'ezrat Hashem, we will improve, we will leshaper, and we'll be given a Shana Chadasha, Be'ezrat Hashem. We'll be given a new year. Our rabbis say, Notnin Libtula Yud Bet Chodesh, that they give a virgin, when she's getting married, they give her 12 months to prepare. Back then, they had a lady, she would get engaged, and then 12 months, prepare, and then get married. Our rabbis say, Betula is not only a virgin, but it's also the zodiac of Betula, of Virgo. Anyone horoscope of the year? Which month is Virgo? The month that we're in. So if a person utilizes the month of Virgo, the month of Elul, that is this month. Anyone August? September? Virgo, right? Whoever utilizes the month of Elul will be given Yud Bet Chodesh. Will be given 12 months. Be'ezrat Hashem. 12 months of life, 12 months of happiness, 12 months of beracha, of parnasa, of refuah shlema for us and for all of Am Yisrael. Okay, we'll stop over here, everybody. Have a wonderful day. God willing, we'll see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.